Hey guys, just wanted to come on real quick to encourage us to be mindful of our words and how important what we say, or be reminded how important what we say literally can change our atmosphere, our way of thinking, and ultimately can change who we are just by what we say about a situation and about ourselves. So today is the day after the election, presidential election 2020. And on last night, I received a call from someone. And this person was like on panic mode, like on 10, concerning something they saw on the news. And so as this person was talking, they were just venting their feelings of what they thought they heard on the news and just going off about being careful and things that are getting ready to happen and just talking a lot of fear. And they even said, things get so bad, I'm getting ready to come over to your house. I'm going to be there with you. We're going to ride this thing out together. I'm not staying home by myself and all this kind of stuff. And they just kept talking and talking and talking. And when I began to feel like a little check, a little something in me from listening to all that they were saying, I was like, you know what, listen, let me call you back because I need to gather my thoughts here because you're just bombarding me with stuff. I didn't say this to them, but I'm thinking this in my mind. So after I got off the phone, I said, okay, God, give me wisdom on how to deal with this situation, on how to talk to this person. Because in listening to them, I was like, okay, something rose up in me just from hearing what they were saying. And then I also thought, they're talking about coming over at my house in case things get bad, like I'm going to protect them. I'm like, dude, I can't fight. If you're looking for somebody to physically fight, you might want to go to somebody else's house. No, don't come to my house. If you're looking for a physical fighter to fight. No, it ain't me. So after I got off the phone with them, I began to pray. I said, okay, God, give me wisdom on how to talk to this person. So called them back. And come to find out, they had heard a sound piece on the news about something that was totally different from what they thought, and that sent them over the edge. And as I began to minister to them, I was like, you know what? These are the areas that God is allowing us to see his faithfulness, and that we have to trust him, because you can worry about a situation and it doesn't change anything but you. And especially when you're speaking it out of your mouth and you're speaking it to other people, you are creating an environment of fear, not just in your life, but in others also. And fear is false evidence appearing real. You're fearing over stuff that may not even happen. And if it does happen, your fear isn't going to change it. It's not going to change the end of it. The only thing that's going to change is your view of it and your stance in it when you trust God through it. So after I got off the phone with this person, I went on Facebook, which I never should have did yesterday, because I already knew that there were going to be conversations about the elections and different things like that. So as I was looking on Facebook, a lot of people were talking about their anxiety level concerning this election. And I'm like, we have to be so careful again of what we put out there, because if I wasn't having any anxiety about the election, just looking at all this kind of stuff that was being fed to me, I'm like, oh my gosh. And a lot of these were believers. And I'm not saying that I never deal with issues of anxiety, because I have. There's different areas where I've been anxious about different things. The end of that thing is that I had to go to God and take it to him, because I knew that anxiety would cause something in me and plant a seed in me that would negate everything that I know about the Word of God, because I'm meditating on it. And anxiety in its truest form is fear. So we can put a nice name on it and call it anxiety, but the root of it is fear. And the Word of God talks about anxiety in Philippians 4:6, where it says, be anxious for nothing, but with prayer and supplication and thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto the Lord. So anything that we have anxiety about, he's already given us the remedy. that we don't have to live in anxiety. We don't have to live on 10. You know, we can take it to the Lord and cast our cares on him because he truly cares. Anxiety benefits no one, especially when we're putting it out there for other people to grab hold onto. And it's like a seed that's being planted in the hearts of people. I know we don't intentionally mean to do it. We do it from a stance of talking about being honest and open. Yeah, there's room for that. But at the end of the day, we have to look at what God says about a situation, because it doesn't matter who's going to be president. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is who is king and who is the Lord over your life. That's the only thing that should matter to us. And in the prayer group that I'm a part of, that I spoke about in my other video, War Room conference call with Pastor Reggie Woodard, is he talks about mass distraction. And that's exactly what all of this that's going on right now is, a mass distraction to keep us from doing what God has called us to do, because we're so focused on what could happen, not realizing what God has already promised. And what he said is his word can't return unto him void. It's got to accomplish what he sent it forth to do. So we're either going to believe the word of God, or we're going to believe our circumstances. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. You know, and God already told us, I present before you life and death. Choose life. Choose him. Choose the promises that he has put before us, that he said he would never leave us nor forsake us, that he would be with us always until the end of the earth. Regardless to whatever it is that we go through, he knows the beginning from the end. He knew that we were going to be in a situation. He knew that there was going to be a pandemic. He knew that we was going to have not so righteous people in office. He knew all of this. This ain't taking him by surprise. So if we can trust God for salvation, and we can trust God for our lives in other areas, why not trust him in this area? So don't get distracted by what you see or what you hear, and don't be the one that speaks those things out that changes and alters the lives of others, because we're going to be held accountable for that. I was also thinking about in Matthew, I think it is, the 25th chapter, where Jesus tells a parable about the talents. That Master gave talents to 3 different individuals. One he gave 5, one he gave 2, one he gave 1. And so when the master came back, he looking for a return of what he invested in. So the one that had 5 gave him back his 5 and some. The one that had 2 gave him back his 2 and some. Now the one joker, they only had one thing that God gave him, or either the master gave him. And he decided to kind of tell, I laugh at it when I think about it, when I read it again. He had the nerve to go to the master and was like, you know, I know who you are. I know the type of man that you are. You this, you that. So in fear of who I know you are, I decided to just do nothing with what you gave me. And so the master came back like, okay, so you think you know me? You said you know me all in all of this? If you knew me, you would have took what I gave you and did something with it and multiplied it in the earth. And then I thought about it. I was like, that is so true concerning the gifts that God has given us. We say we know God. We say we know what he says about us, and we know what his word says. But when he puts an assignment on us, we allow distractions to come to keep us from fulfilling that. And then we'll say, well, and I'm kind of just trying to put the story together so we can see it from today's standpoint. Well, COVID came, so I couldn't do A, B, and C. Oh, this whole election just got me all frustrated, and you know, I don't know what to do. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do what I need to do. I mean, mass distraction. But at the end of the day, Jesus is going to come back and say, what did you do with what I gave you? With the assignment that I put in your hands, what did you do with it? Are we going to say we didn't do it because of fear? That's all this whole distraction with the election is. Is it fear tactic? But God said he has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. We are without excuse. We are totally without excuse. So I just want to encourage us, and I'm saying us, because like I said, when I got that call yesterday, I had to check myself like, whoa, let me get off this phone so I can get my mind back together. I stopped thinking about all this other stuff. So I had to get myself together. So I'm encouraging you today. Do what God has called you to do. Don't be distracted by what you hear nor what you see. Speak only what the Word of God says about all the situations that's going on in the earth. I'm also reminded of Psalms 1, which is one of my favorite scriptures, concerning meditating on the Word of God. God says, we always talk about we're blessed, but God's definition of a blessed person, Psalms 1 lays it out. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners. That's a whole nother subject right there. But going on to the next verse, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. This is a blessed person. His delight is in the law of the Lord. And in that law, which is his word, he meditates day and night. Not on the news, not on what they see, not on what they hear, but they meditate. This is a blessed person. Meditates on it day and night. And what's the result of it? He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season. His leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. Think about that. A tree planted by the rivers of water. That means that this tree is planted, and with it being by the rivers of water, it's constantly being nourished. It's constantly being fed. It's constantly being replenished. And he will bring forth fruit in his season, in the season that he's supposed to bring forth and manifest the things of God. It's going to happen. All from meditating on the Word of God. And also, whatever he does shall prosper. Whatever. In the midst of COVID, in the midst of this crazy presidential race, and all the different things that's going on in our country, when you meditate on the Word of God, all this external stuff doesn't matter. You will be rooted. You will be planted. Your leaves will not wither. You will bring forth fruit in the season that is destined to come forth in. And whatever you do is going to prosper. Meditate on the Word of God. Turn the TV off. I started watching HGTV. Looking at things more positive. I had to get off the news. No. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's president. What matters is who's king, who's the Lord of your life. So, be encouraged, people. Know that God is with you. God will never leave you nor forsake you. This is a season. Guess what? Seasons are created to change. They are. Now, here in Michigan, our seasons are bipolar. Last weekend, it was snowing, and this weekend, it's like almost 70 degrees. Total bipolar. Total bipolar. But it changes. And you know what? The season that we're in is going to change too. So, be not weary in well doing. You should reap the benefits of that what God has given you to do, if you faint not. See things the way he sees things, and say what he says, and watch him change every aspect of your life and your environment. Be blessed. Have a great day, guys.